Hi, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good and you, Siddharth. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're most welcome. It's actually my pleasure to have you. Especially, it's been a while since we last caught up. What have been some of the biggest personal or creative milestones for you recently?
I think for me is the his work for horse has really grown globally as well, which I'm very very happy for. A lot of people give me their reviews and stuff like that, and that was one of my biggest milestones. The second one is like I recently did a compass course. So basically, the a compass course is driven on vision, mission, and value, right? So what they do is basically they do courses that are faithful. It's basically
Mhm.
living faithfully, living. How do I say it correctly? It's basically living your and doing your finances God's way kind of thing, you know? And it
Mhm.
was very interesting because recently we did something making ends meet, and it really teaches you how to manage your finance properly. It really teaches you that through scripture as well, like how to do, like, for example, a snowball effect, where if you have debt, for example, you knock off the small ones first and then you tackle the large ones. So it's basically, it was very good. It was very nice. So that was one of my happy milestones. Well, two of it.
Okay, your writing often blends deep emotions with vivid imagery. Has your inspiration or writing style evolved since your last book?
Yes, it has. I always tell people when they imagine, there is no limit to imagination, but just don't fall off the cliff where you don't know how to get back to reality. So it has evolved where in the new book coming up, that is a bit, it's also fantasy, romance, but
Mhm.
it's more than, how can I say, descriptive than his Wolf for Horse.
All right. Okay. Are you currently working on a new book or creative project that readers should be excited about?
Yes, I am. It is
Mhm.
already in the pipeline for a while. I'm just getting a few things sorted out, but I'm hoping this one is also one of my favorites because I I think, like I said, it's more descriptive than his Will for Horse, and it's a two-part series. So book one is almost there.
All right. How do you balance the demands of writing with everyday life, especially when motivation dips or life gets busy?
I think for me is you always have those days where you like don't want to write and you're a bit lazy because you get into a writing
Mhm.
slump. But what
Mhm.
motivates me is number one, my readers. So I always feel like they'll have something to look forward to. Also, imagination is not something that you make up. So there, it everyday life forms part of it. So I look at everyday life and I'm like, how can we make it better than the situation that we have? So whenever I think like that, I always be like, okay, you can't get into a writing slump. You continue writing.
All right. There's actually a question here from the comments. All right. Let me just open this up for you.
Okay.
Okay. From Jitin Reshika. Hi, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
How do you separate your personal emotions from your writing, or do you pen your emotions?
Okay, so sometimes, how do I say your name? Jisan, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't separate your emotions. The only thing is, because like they say, every writer has a bit of emotion or a bit of part of them in their book. So it's not easy to separate emotions, but don't cling onto the character you are touching the emotions to. That's number one. The other part of your question, do you pen your emotions? Yes, we do pen our emotions. The first part of penning it is poetry, right? The other part of penning the emotion is also, it's a way of relieving. So for example, if you're feeling sad and if you put it on pen and paper as part of the character, it's part of like a healing process. So it's semi indirectly undercover therapy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you discovered any new authors, books, or creative influences lately that have impacted you?
Yes, I have. I didn't really realize there was a lot of South African authors that were here. Like for example, Simirandat, Arini Voltman. There's also, what's the other girl's name? Wadina Jasab. There's Jolene Logan. There's Rachel Morgan. There's a whole lot more. And it's so nice to finally figure out that there's a lot of people that actually write fantasy romance, they write series, and it's nice to know that because as writers you're not alone. There's a lot out there, but also it helps you to also get, for example, help those authors grow. So it's basically like a family community.
Okay, all right. This is actually gonna be my final question, unless more comments come in. What message or feeling do you hope readers walk away with after engaging with your work in 2025?
I feel like they'll understand that each person is unique, number one. Number two
Mhm.
is whatever emotion that you feel in a book is then everyone feels it. So whoever feels sad, or if you feel depressed, or if you feel like you're a little bit confused, at least they have some sort of color, what's this, consolidation that they're not the only ones. Everyone else understands what they're going through. Everyone else feels what they're going through. And it's like, if that person can get out of it, so can I. Also, for motivation as well, motivating people is one of the biggest things I like to do, is because it takes small situations that can dampen somebody, but it also takes the small situations to brighten someone's day.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much for giving me your time, and don't be shy. Just reach out and we'll continue this.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Right. Bye, guys.